Why do you think that, like, oftentimes when there is an act of resistance and there is violent components to that resistance, typically what happens when there is an agreed peace and there is change, history then gets sanitized. So when you think about the, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X example, you had a lot of civil disobedience, so to speak, in America at the time, in the 60s. And then obviously all of that stopped when, the Civil Rights Act was passed, yada, yada, yada. But then the way that's taught is almost as if the rioting and the acts of resistance didn't happen. The same when you think about, like, even the independence of a lot of African countries, right? Like, people forget that, Nigeria wasn't just made independent because the British were bored and didn't want to continue oppressing. Like, people actually fought. Same with, the Ghanaian context and, what happened in India. So my question is, why do you think that when we look back on history, it's kind of taught in a way where it was almost as if the peaceful element was more effective than for example, when you think about Mandela, for example, he was in prison for years, right? And he could have come out of prison and continued the struggle, especially when you think about the context in which apartheid ended and how, apartheid still is in effect, just in a different way. He could have continued, but he decided that he was going to be part of the sanitization of history, right? So what do you think his motivations were for doing that, knowing that he's someone that cares about his people and his country?